Where did you learn how to become such a great coach? Was there a mentor you had early on, or was it just by coaching and learning by tons of mistakes the first few years?
It's pretty much it, because I was a head coach at the age of 24.
Early. I remember seeing that. I was like, man, right after college, you were a head coach.
I was Jim Boeheim's first assistant. And then I got the head coaching job at Boston University at 24. I was coaching players 21 and 22 years of age.
How is this possible? Because that wouldn't happen today, right? Maybe like a 31-year-old, maybe.
Possibly.
At like a D1 school, that's really young.
Yeah. I got lucky because my college coach was a great player at Boston University, and he recommended me. So I got lucky with the job. I didn't know. It was all trial and error. Not until I became the assistant coach of the New York Knicks. Now, I learned all about the zone with Jim Boeheim. He was a great tactician. But I really learned basketball from a scouting, motivational standpoint when I was assistant coach of the Knicks with U.B. Brown. The 2 years I was with U.B. Brown as assistant with the Knicks really was like going into a basketball library for 2 years.
Now, why the scouting motivational side of things?
Well, the pros is all about scouting. It's all about preparation. It's all about motivating the pros because they're playing 82
a lot of
to
games.
90-something games depending on the playoffs. And they're fatigued. They're constantly fatigued. And you've got to motivate them. And what I call find their motive and turn it into action, because they're all different. You know, Patrick Ewing is much different than Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson is much different than Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley was the physical presence on the team. And I remember calling Doug Collins and asking him about him because we traded for him. And he said, Coach, he'll either kill you or kill for you.
Wow.
So Oak was going to be my best friend.
So you got to find, you're more of a psychologist and an anthropologist of understanding what makes people tick as a coach.
Very much so. I believe, you know, we all have our way of coaching. I'm a running, pressing coach. Defense is a premium with us. But to me, it's all about getting the most out of someone's abilities. And that's the way I recruit. I don't go after necessarily top 10 basketball players. I go after guys, I learned a long time ago, Mario Gabelli, a financial investor in New York City. I went to him to try and invest Jamal Mashburn, one of my players' money. Helen Mashburn asked me to find somebody to manage his money. And I visited Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Merrill Lynch at the time, and Mario Gabelli. Gabelli Assets was the last person I visited in Rye, New York. And I tried to sound intelligent. I was young back then as the Kentucky coach. And I said, where do you get your talent from? University of Chicago, Harvard Business School, Wharton School? He said, no, not really. He took me to a back room where everybody sat. He said, I look for PhDs. I said, that's strange to look for PhDs in your business. He said, look, I look for poor, hungry, and driven people. I don't care where they go to school. And so I changed it to passionate, hungry, and driven people.
I like that.
And I go after passionate, hungry, and driven athletes who really want to pay the price to get somewhere. And then I put the team together.
How do you find that PhD? How do you find that within someone? Like, is it something they say? Is it the way they look at you? Is it the hunger they have, or what is?
Well, when I bring them in recruiting-wise, I want them to watch us practice. We go really hard. And some players right away, you can tell they don't want to work that hard.
If it's not exciting to them, they're out.
Well, they don't want to work that hard. You can tell. You can check what other schools they're interested in as well. And they watch practice. What'd you think? I said, boy, you guys go really hard. When they say that, you know they're not for you. When they say, boy, I really, really like that intensity, you know they're for you.
Interesting. So you create an environment for them. So they can experience something. Then you ask them a couple of questions to see how they're going to respond.
Very much so.
Now, what if they seem hungry, and then 2 weeks in, a month in, they start to realize, wow, this is a lot more than I thought. Like, I thought I wanted this drive, but you're putting me through the ringer, coach, and I'm dead here.
Well, a lot of them go through that as freshmen.
Yeah.
Freshmen are like rookies in the pros, and freshmen, they look for ways out because they don't see gratification right away. And these young people today, they want it now. You know, they don't want to start at the bottom and work their way up. They want to start in the middle and get up in 2 weeks.
Right.
So they
want to score 25 in the first
Exactly.
game. They want to be dunking from the free throw line in the game, everything, right?
And it's the entitled generation. Everybody talks about it. The entitlement of this generation. So you have to show them where it's going to take them. You have to point it out to them. Look, this is where you're going to get.
How do you get people to buy into a system or a belief? of the whole season as opposed to, one game where you're going to score a bunch? How do you instill that belief in people, in a group
a lot of them
people?
want to transfer right away because
Really?
they're not getting, if they're not starting right away,
They're not getting the playing time,
and they're not getting, and it's more, it comes today, believe it or not, from the parents. The parents really,
Oh my
they
gosh.
call and say, how come he's not playing? And he's going to play, and he's going to be terrific. But it's going to take a little time. A perfect example is this young man I coached, Russ Smith. I called him Rusticulous. Didn't play as a freshman. He knew he wasn't going to play as a freshman because I told him. He wanted to transfer right away. And I said, well, I told you weren't going to play as a freshman. There are better people ahead of you. And the dad, fortunately, knew me real well. As the Knicks coach, he said, Russ, you're not transferring. And he asked me, is he going to play next year? I said, well, he's going to have to change his practice habits if he wants to play. He changed. Now, nobody recruited him out of high school. No big time schools. Well, he ended up a first-team college All-American.
Wow.
First team.
Sophomore or later?
His senior year. Wins a national championship. Goes to China and scores 61 a game in China.
Wow.
So he had a fantastic career. Played in 2 Final Fours and won a national championship. But he wanted to leave as a freshman.
Yeah. It's a delayed gratification is what we should be looking for.
Yeah, I think you have to understand the journey you're about to take, and it's the last stop is where you want to get to, but you're going to have to work along the way.
What's the speech you give the first day everyone's together? What's the message you send to people about the season and the journey, especially in college?
I meet with them individually first, and I tell them, I'm going to get you to where you want to go. And most of them, it's the NBA.
Right.
And if it's a realistic thing, I say, I'm going to get you there, but you're going to have to put the time and effort because you're not ready to get there. So I put them through in between classes. I put them through the player development workout.
A physical workout? Or
it's 45 minutes of offensive basketball. It's what you need to become a pro. But you're going to need it 5 days a week for as many years as that you need to get there.
This is before practice?
In between classes.
Just like ball handling skills?
We'll do shooting, 3-point shooting.
Wow.
We'll do one-on-one moves with the ball, without the basketball. And by that I mean you'll move without the ball, you'll catch it, you'll rip it, you'll ball fake, you'll shot fake. I'll put you through all the drills necessary.
The fundamentals.
The fundamentals of becoming a really well-rounded basketball player.
Not just an athletic phenom, which a lot of these guys are. They're probably just athletic freaks.
Yeah, great athletes don't necessarily make it anymore in the pros because now centers, back when I first started coaching Patrick Ewing, you had Akeem Olajuwon, you had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you had all the great centers in the game from Moses Malone. Today those guys, and Shaquille O'Neal's probably the last dominating one. Today, the 6'11", 7-footers are shooting threes.
Yeah.
You have Cousins shooting threes. You have Durant at 6'11" shooting threes.
Crazy.
So the game has changed dramatically, and these guys, no matter how tall they are, they want a perimeter game, and that's what you try and teach them.
Why do they want that? Because they want to score more?
Because they watch it on they watch it on TV. They want to be
It's not as physical.
Durant.
It's not as demanding on the body. You're not getting fouled every other play, probably.
It's more glamorous.
Yeah, right. Wow. And when was the last time you were coaching in the NBA? Was it 2000?
Last time I was coaching was 17 years ago with the Celtics, 18 years ago. And that was a different experience than the Knicks.
Yeah.
Because I took over a program that won 14 games, got it to 36, 38. But I was unhappy. I was also president of the Boston Celtics. And that was my big mistake. I shouldn't have taken on that dual
president
role.
And the head coach.
Well, I wasn't ready to be an administrator. I wasn't ready to run an organization. And it took away from my feelings as a coach. I was making trades based on saving money, and as a coach, your job is to win.
Yeah.
You can't pay attention to those other things.
Yeah. You've got to be working with the president saying, this is what I need to win. Give me this.
Right. Not worried about saving the owner money or the salary cap.
Oh, that's challenging. Yep. Wow. What did you enjoy more, coaching college athletes or professionals?
Well, it's going to sound a little trite, but wherever we won is what I enjoyed.
I like that answer. I like that answer.
Because we won with the Knicks. We won the Atlantic Division Championship. We won at Providence, Kentucky, Boston University, but we lost with the Celtics. So I didn't enjoy the last part of it because we lost. When you build a winning culture, the team gets along better. Everybody strives for the common goal of winning. And it all comes together when you win. Your relationships are better with the players. When you lose, it goes the other way on you.
Really?
Especially with professional sports.
Yeah. What's the greatest lesson you've learned through losing?
Well, failure is fertilizer. There's no question about it, to help other things grow. And you understand the steps, where you make your mistakes, and what not to do going down the road. Give you a prime example. I coached this young man, Bill Cartwright, with the Knicks. 7-foot center, great guy. And we had to have him for this game. We're on a huge winning streak with the Knicks. And I called him. He missed walkthrough. He said, Coach, I'm sick. I've got to stay in bed. I'm hoping to make the game. I said, hey, Bill, you got to make this game. We need you. And he said, Coach, I just need to relax. I said, okay. Then all of a sudden I told the trainer, I said, look, we need to get him in, get a shot from the doctor to stop his stomach problems. Get him in early and get him in. And Bill wanted rest. So you have to be your own messenger. I now sent the trainer to go to him, get him into the city. He's got to travel from New Jersey into the city, 45-minute drive. He wasn't up to it. He wanted to stay in bed. He gets him in. And my whole thing was to see the doctor, get the right medication to help him feel better for the game.
Give him a chance
to play the game. Bill took it as I didn't believe him that he was sick because I wasn't my own messenger. I sent the trainer. Trainer now relays the message. Hey, Bill, Coach wants you in the city right away to see the doctor. He didn't say why. We needed him. I needed you, Big Bill, to play the game the whole bit. And so now he's upset, and I couldn't figure out why. 2 games go by. I said, Bill, what's the problem? We're not on the same page here. He said, you didn't believe that I was sick. Of course I believed. I had to have the doctor see you right away so you could play in this game. He said, well, that's not the way I took it. I took it that you didn't believe I was sick and you wanted me to go see the doctor because you didn't believe it. So you have to be your own messenger, and especially in the pros. In the pros, you have a problem, you can't let it fester. You deal with it right away.
Wow. And
you don't understand the communication, you got to let them talk. You have to be a great listener to be a pro coach.
Really?
You have to. Because the guy's, he's not playing and he wants to know why he's not playing. You've got to be a listener and you got to explain it to him. College, you don't necessarily have to do that.
You don't have to listen as much?
You're sort of a little bit more authoritative.
Right.
You're the father figure.
It's your way.
Yeah.
But in the pros, there's so many personalities. And everyone's got an opinion, and you need them to play for you as well. So you've got to listen to them.
No question.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder what happened with you don't have to comment on this, but the Kawhi Leonard situation. Does he not communicate, or is he not?
Well, he's a quiet young man from what I understand, but it all depends what age group you are. I remember asking Red Auerbach a big question, the legendary coach of the Celtics. I said, Red, we're losing, and these guys, they just don't pay attention as well. He says this to me. He said, well, you know what you should do? What I used to do when I coached Bill Russell and Bob Cousy and Tommy Heinsohn. I said, what's that? He said, you're always sitting the guys down, diagramming plays, moving your magnetic pieces around. Why don't you let them stand up in the huddle and say, like I did, hey, Kuz, what do you think we should run? Havlicek, what do you think we should run? Hey, Bill, what do you think we should run? Let them come up with the play. So the next game we're playing the Lakers at home. I said, well, try it. I sit the guys down, I don't have them stand up. And they're exhausted because we've been in a great game. And I turned to Antoine Walker, who I coached in college, Walter McCarty, Ron Mercer, 3 guys I had with Kentucky are playing for me with the Celtics. Wow. And I said, guys, what do you think we should run? We're down 1, so many seconds left in the game. What do you think we should run?
Did their jaws drop? Because they were like, wait, you asked us.
They didn't answer me. They're staring at me. Finally, I said to Antoine, what do you think we should run? He says a profanity, which I won't mention. He says, Coach, you get paid to coach, we get paid to play. You come up with the damn play. We're tired.
No way.
So I called Red that night and I said, Red, you want to hear the answer they gave me? He started laughing hysterically. He said, wait till they get a little older. Yeah. They won't shut up. They'll all come up with different plays.
They'll all want to be the coach.
But he says, How the hell will we know? We're tired. You come up with the play.
Amazing. So the most challenging place was when you were losing.
Yeah, losing in the pros, because there's so many things that go into it. When you lose in the pros and you're out of the playoffs, they all go for stats. They want their stats because it's money time, and that's what they're based on.
Right.
At that point, they're not going to make the playoffs. So if you're not in the playoffs, they lose their interest and they want their stats.
Just want to shoot the ball. It's not as much of a team.
Winning is not as important when you're out of the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm curious, as a coach, you're either a hero or the loser, and people are raving about you, or the next day they hate you, right? As a city or an alumni, whatever it may be. How have you learned to let go of what other people think about you, whether you're winning or losing?
Well, today it's difficult. My son's the head coach in Minnesota, and he gets on. He reads everything, and his wife reads everything, and it's like injecting.
In the media, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. Well, you go on the internet, and you could have. He's at Minnesota, and you could have Wisconsin fans, Ohio State fans, Michigan State fans get on the internet and just kill you. And it's like injecting yourself with poison almost. Mm-hmm. So you've got to have blinders on. You can't lose focus as a coach. Your job is to motivate the team, put them in the best situation where they have a chance of winning. Give them everything you can, from analytics to scouting to preparation to player development. Give them everything you can. And you can't lose focus. You have to have blinders on. And if you pay attention to the internet, if you pay attention to what the media is saying, it opens up Pandora's box, and it's a big negative. And we have right now a president that reads everything and listens to everything and watches everything, and then turns around and
responds.
And responds.
Reacts, yeah.
You just can't be that way as a coach. You have to have blinders on and focus on the game at hand, which is winning. The next game, player development. And if you don't have that, if you start getting distracted like that, you lose your ability to win.
How did you learn how to not let it affect you emotionally, during any time during the season, when you're on a winning streak or when you're on a losing streak and everyone's against you? How do you put the blinders on?
Well, fortunately for me, it's happened only once in my life with the Boston Celtics. Outside of that, we've won.
That's got to be nice.
Well, you don't win right away because you're taking over programs that are down, and you understand them. And you explain to the fans, this is what's going to take, this is the period of time, and you hopefully you come through earlier than expected.
Right.
And that's a key. But you tell them right up front, this is what it's going to take.
It'll take some time.
It's going to take a couple of years of recruiting.
Yeah.
And then if you get the one great player that turns it around quicker, because in basketball, unlike football, the one player can turn it around for you.
Really?
You get Michael Jordan to come to the Bulls, you get Jamal Mashburn to go to Kentucky. You get the one guy, you get LeBron to go back to Cleveland, and then it takes a couple more players to get involved with that one player, and then you got to turn it around.
You got a team, yeah. If you're looking for more greatness in your life, make sure to check out this video right here. And also check out our free PDF, The 3 Secrets to Unlock the Power of Your Mind to help you change your life. Download it right here.
There are a lot of answers that I don't have, even questions that I don't have. But I'm just going to keep going.